Can you hear me?
Yep, got you.
Yeah. Let me just make sure this is open. Good
My
go.
computer says Monday, October the 13th, and that is not correct.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
This is very, very much the 13th of October.
Bro, that's on recording.
Yep, that'll be there.
Shit.
Okay,
Hi,
sharing.
Hank. Yes, I know it's raining and you're feeling extra rowdy and you've got cabin fever, and it's okay because it's a rainy day. And we're not gonna go out and get all muddy and get mud in the house.
It's about to rain here too. I'm so excited. Never
Yeah,
does.
we've got a hurricane coming up the coast.
Yeah, not us. Hopefully, it may be like a heavy rain though. I think we're gonna get like 2 inches. It'd be pretty sick.
All
I need
right,
plants to grow.
dumbbell flies. What we got?
So this is Paul.
Fuck, there's even more now. There's 102.
I'm going to see who's submitted after, just so that we can stop for this week. So after this video,
These look good from here.
yeah,
I'd have to see the side angle to see his elbow to shoulder alignment and stuff, but from here, those all look good. Next.
yeah. Before we move on, let me just see the most recent.
Whatever, we'll hit them. It's only a couple more.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
Mm-mm-mm. Of course. There we go. Okay. Lisa.
That's a pin squat. So pin
Yeah.
squat should start on the pins. So the first part of the rep of a pin squat is the up. Ooh, I mean, these are great. So one thing to focus on, see how your butt kicks up and then you come up with it a bit, butt comes up. So we want to keep our butt down. We want to make sure we're not only pushing the ground away with our legs, we want to drive our back into the bar. So a key to prevent that butt kicking up is as you re-engage the bar, drive your back into the bar the same time you're pushing the ground away with your legs. So that's where squatting is a full body movement. And for the record, pin squats start on the pin, and your first part of your rep is up. Um, yeah. Next. At least that's how I've always done them. So goblet squat, we want to hold the dumbbell by the top part of the weight with our palms underneath, so it's up higher, kind of collarbone, like right under your chin. You're gonna cup the top half of that dumbbell. Um, but otherwise, you're plenty deep. You've got good range of motion. You're banging these out. These are great. It will just make your life a little easier not holding it down by your belly button. Hold it, get up underneath that dumbbell and hold it by your face, right under your chin. Next. I feel like we watched this. Lower. Oh, she did a higher and a lower.
Yeah, I think this is the lower one.
Same cues as last time, regardless of the height. Your butt kicks up and then you re-engage the bar. That's actually at depth, how you're there. You're kind of drifting forward a little bit. That's partially why your butt's kicking up. We want to maintain a nice vertical. You see the last half of the squat, the bar actually drifts forward. So we want to stay to our heels for sure. And it might be worth taking those shoes off and putting some plates underneath your heels. to kind of help with that a little bit. Next, concentration curls. Yeah, I mean those look good. Um, I would sit on something for that. Uh, so you don't get that rocking back and forth with the upper body just due to the momentum of it. I would sit on a bench or a chair or something and do it that way. But those are pretty good, man. I've got no real issue there. These are pretty good. We want to try and get a little bit lower, like half an inch, maybe an inch. Um, and you see how your upper body kind of moves separate a little bit. So we want to create, a nice lever, right? Um, and that you want to brace your core while you're doing these as well. So everything is moving in unison. Squeeze your butt if you need to. Um, but these are 90% there. These are over. I've seen way, 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 way worse. You're doing a great job. They can just get a little better. That's all. Next, drop that chin. Those are pretty good. I'd like to see you let those arms kind of get straight at the bottom. I like how you're keeping a pretty neutral back. Drop that chin. We want a nice neutral chin. Um, and you may want to think about rowing more towards your belly button and versus instead of like upper ribs, chest line. Um, Neutralizing that chin, what that's going to do is it's going to make it easier for you to keep the rest of your back in line. Contrary to popular belief, putting your chin up can on something squat, deadlift, something bent over like this, anything outside of like reverse hypers or things like that, because there's a support system, um, can actually make it harder to get that spine. You're adding a curve, right, in your C spine. So we want to not look down, but pull our chin back as if you're trying to make a double chin. Um, and that should make it a little bit easier because think about how everything's connected. You're making it shorter in the back and more stretched out in the front. So, um, yeah, you see how as you get deeper in the set, you start to curl with your back, even though your chin's still up. Neutralize that chin, you start in great posture there. So there's a few things to work on there, but not terrible. Next, full range of motion too. This is, I think, Sarah's, who I've been communicating with on finding a physio in Iceland. Um, Remember, because she's got the difference between right and left. So you see how you pressed kind of away from your face on that last rep? We want to drive towards our eyes a little bit. Um, because I know it feels like we're pressing straight up, but if you look at the angle between your shoulder and your hand where you finish, it's actually out away from you. So we want to press towards our face. And you should feel it when you get in that bar path, you'll feel that acceleration speed up a little bit. Um, Squeeze your butt. Um, I instead of having your plates on the single plate on the end, I'd rather have one each side so you have a nice wide base. Um, so you can get that elevation still so you can reach, but put a single plate on each side so you can have that nice wide base, keep that slight arch in your back. Um, Not bad, but a few subtle little things can make these a lot better for you. Next. Hopefully you got in contact with some of those physios too. That's huge. Look at him drive towards his heels. Boom. So it's a little exaggerated, but it's not bad. It's better than the alternative of going into your toes. So he's actually getting much more hamstring and glute. You see how his hips come through? And this is really good because his hips coming through, we had an issue on his deadlift. He was soft locking out. So seeing that glute activation and him rise and those hip pow come through is a really, really good sign. Great posture, great form. I'd like to see you not rock back quite as far and come a little bit more straight up with it. And this is me really nitpicking here. So um overall, this is a good, awesome squat. Just trying to milk a little more out of it. Next. Let's see. His deadlifts have been progressing so much. Oh my gosh, I love that. Night and day difference. Keep those arms straight. It's the only little thing that I really have to say here. But your deadlift form has made leaps and bounds, my man. A little jerk. See how you dipped down and then pulled. Let's get those arms. You did it well there. Um, yeah, these are incredibly different from what they were a few weeks ago. Good job. Next. Block pulls. Good. Yeah. These are great. These are great. I like how those hips are accelerating through, man. Violence. Bring them through violently. Good job. Next. Straight leg deadlifts. I'd like to see a little bit more control on the descent and no, not bouncing it off the floor. Your form's great. Just control the descent, and you don't even, honestly, you don't even have to hit the floor on an SDL. It's great that you have that range of motion, but you don't have to hit the floor. If that means keeping your legs a little bit straighter, that's okay too. Um, but these are pretty good. Just I'd rather you not see them bounce. I'd rather not see you bounce them. Next. Deadlift. It's going to be out front when his knees kick back and his butt comes up. Yep. Not terrible. But you see how that second rep, you're in a much, much better position. That's where I want you to start. So basically, we're going to bring your hips up slightly. Our knees are going to suck back, and we want to sit back more to our heels so our shoulders don't go past the bar. We get a nice inline shoulder to bar. You do a great job of setting your back, getting in position. It's just the first rep. Gravity fixes you here. So, yep, now you come back down in line and you're much more where you need to be. So, from here on out, no more touch and goes because we need to work on your start position. Every rep, you're going to dead stop, rebrace, pull, down, dead stop, rebrace, pull. Next. Run squats. Great rack position, I think. Or is he doing the cross arm? Yeah, he's doing the cross arm. I take that back. I hate that. Your depth, you're flirting with depth. These are good. It looks like your ankles and heels are rolling in a little bit. So what I would like to do is you to put, some small like 10-pound plates or 5-pound plates, get a little bit of heel elevation. Um, I don't think this is a weight issue, judging on the speed. I think this is just a knowing where you need your body to be. So we want to elevate our heels a little bit. It should make that depth feel a little bit easier. That rep was pretty close. Second, the cross arm is going to make it harder to control the bar. So as you get heavier, it's going to be much easier to fold. I'd rather you work on getting that mobility and getting that one finger, two fingers, and getting those elbows up to really wedge that bar in there. That's all we got to do is wedge it in there behind the delts. Sit a little bit lower. But man, your last two lifts you're not far off the mark. Just a couple things need to be tweaked. That's all. Next. Pause. Go back to the start. Look at that unrack position. I want you both feet underneath the bar. Lift up out of the rack, 2 steps out, drop. As you get heavier, that's not going to fly. As you get stronger, we want a nice, set, stable rack position. Get under the bar, stand up, bip, bip, step out, brace, down, up. All right, continue. Your squat looks pretty good. You look like you're at or below depth from the front here. Drive those knees out, which I would like to see you take your toes and point them out slightly, so then you can use your pinky toes as your mark to drive your knees. Once you're actually squatting, you're moving well. I really just want you to focus on that one cue of walking it out with both feet underneath the bar and then driving those knees out. Those being the two main things. Your squat from this angle looks pretty well. I'd like to see it from the side. Next. Van Nguyen. It's definitely Vietnamese. Sounds like. They like to use that Y. These are good. Look at those knees staying out. They caved a little bit there. Okay, so as you get deeper in the set, and you fatigue, the knees fold in more and more and more. So same cue on the front squats. You look like you're down at depth, at or below. We need to keep those knees out. I love your rack position too. Great job. Next. These look good. This looks strong bench at what appears to be 225. I'd like to see it from the side, Ignacio, to see your bar path. But your feet aren't dancing around, your body's not wiggling. We've got good, looks like full body tension here. A nice proud chest. Everything looks like it's where it's supposed to be. I just would like to see the bar path. So if we get a video from more from the side, that would be good. So I could check that out. But so far, this looks great. Next. How's my hinge? Let's see. RDLs. Your hinge is great, but you see how your knees stay soft when you lock out? There, that was better. Your hinge is great. I like the acceleration and how you slam your hips through, Rory. That's exactly what I want to see. You're doing these great. No issue. Next. There's some depth. You see how you're folding with with your upper and mid back. We don't want to fold. Your depth is fantastic. But I want you to keep a nice proud chest and a nice flat back all the way through. Which widening your foot width might make that feel a little bit more comfortable. Not much. Widening it, pointing your toes slightly out, like an inch total, half inch each foot. I want you to keep a nice proud chest. When you brace, you shouldn't be able to fold, especially weight that's moving that fast and that light tells me it's not that your core is not strong enough. It's that you haven't got the activation mechanism to click. So we need to keep that chest proud. And think when you're holding the bar, you're squeezing your back together to support that bar. And that should keep your chest pretty pushed out. Noah, that's the same thing we're working on with you too. Next. I think we saw these in the yeah, we definitely did. I remember those.
Not this one, right?
Not this one.
Okay.
What you eating over there, big boy?
Sorry. Some Chinese food.
I want to see a little less help from that back leg. See how I see that back leg kind of kicking off? That back leg is for stability and to help as minimally as required so the front leg can get you up. Um other than that, you're doing great. Posture looks great. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Next. We got a deadlift. See that bar swing in as soon as you picked it up? I want that bar right across your shins. Now, when you're using small plates like this, I want you to, this is basically a little bit of a deficit deadlift. So you're going to want to elevate it to the height of about a 45-pound plate. You see how far away your bar path coming down is kind of this outward arc, and you're away from the bar when you pull. The bar swings in immediately as it breaks. So I want you to bring that bar and up against your shins, and I want you to keep everything else the same. You might have to sit back to your heels a little bit, but everything else looks really, really good. You're just really out front. So that's really it, man. I want you to get that bar close so it's straight up, straight down. Next. You'll feel an incredible difference in how much easier the same weight is when you get the bar path right, too. Dave, front squats. What is my dog ripping to pieces? These are good. Look at that hip mobility. Those hips open up, those knees drive out. He's like right at depth. Dave, fantastic front squats, man. You're on the money here. Great job. Didn't even fold when he started to grind. He's doing the strap method. Or no, he's doing the finger method. Yeah. He's got it dialed in, baby. Let's go. Next. Dave crushed that. All right, Ray. What do we got? A cable curl? I mean, those look good. There's virtually very minimal elbow travel. Pretty strict. He's got a nice strong up and a nice controlled down. Ray, these are great. Your arms look jacked. Next. I'd like to see your bench and your deadlift too. Yes, driving back up towards his face. Great job. Three in a row. Really good ones. 4 in a row. Look at that bar path. Bracing. Yes. Killed it. Next. I think we saw that. Looks like a safety squat bar. One of my favorite squat bars. For those of you that have never experienced an SSB, they try to fold you over with that forward camber. They sit very high, so it has the advantage of leverage. All right, so we're really high. We need to get deeper. I think you might be a little wide, potentially. Maybe bring your feet, an inch in on either side. Drop the weight a little bit, and let's get you comfortable with getting down there, keeping that chest proud. Um, I think it's just a little A, you're not used to the depth. B, a little heavy. So it looks like you're about to fold when you come up. So we need to figure out what's going on by changing a few things and eliminating what's preventing you from getting to depth. So I'd like to see this lighter with a slightly narrower stance, and see if we can get you deeper. Next. Set your back or don't. Okay. Um, so Eric, we are totally in flexion here. If you watch, this video the whole way through, you'll see some people that did some really good examples of setting up that posterior train. I don't want to see this big rounded, I call it a pissed off cat back, when they get all mad and they hunch up. That's what we don't want. It means you're not supporting your back. You're loading spine potentially to a degree that could be harmful. And we shouldn't see this in rep ranges. The only time where it's moderately acceptable is when you're going for broke on a PR. So what I want you to do is bring your hips up a little bit and really push that chest out. Cat cow. You've probably heard me give that cue. I want you to push your belly button out towards the floor. Think about like arching your back. I want you to exaggerate. I want you to get on your hands and knees, go through some cat cows, and feel what that arched position feels like. And I want you to use that cue when you set up for deadlift. And then I want you to brace down into it so you maintain that position. Next. Big Ben.
The shame we can't hear his voice to calm us down.
Okay. Steady goes it. There's the brace. Good job, Ben. Drive into that bar with your back. Remember, I gave that cue earlier in this session. Drive that bar off your back. Your squat's looking great, man. You're moving well. You're hitting depth well. That's really the only cue I got for you right at this moment. Good job. Next. A lot of people forget. It's like a thing you got to do consciously. And I remember when it clicked for me. I'm thinking legs, legs, legs. Once I realized to drive my back into that bar, it's like this, you get this extra gear of speed. These look good. That's a nice little setup. You got full range of motion. Great job. Next. Yes. Good job. So you see how you have to pull down with your arms? You want to keep that here the whole time. So when you come up, it stays here and you come down. So you get a little bit less help from your lats and your core's picking up the slack. With that being said, it's not drastic. Just a subtle little change that you probably won't feel it in your lats as much and you'll feel much more core. Next. Bring your butt up. There we go. All right, Paul, you see how your butt's rising right before it pulls? I want you to start where that rise is, where it rises to. Keep that chest proud, brace really hard, but that rise is pitching you forward. So if we bring our butt up to where you see that rise happening and start pulling from there, that will eliminate your knees and legs coming back and creating space between you and the bar. Um, so let's go with that cue for now. Good job. Next. It's a nice little home gym setup. Good. Taking his time. Good. I love the form. I love how you're moving the bar. I want to see it faster. I want to see you pick that bar up, and as it comes off the floor, it speeds up. I want to see those hips come through violent. Try and break the bar in half with your hips. That's going to carry over into your heavier reps much more. We're going to need that velocity at this lower weight for you. You're getting so much right here. We just need you to have the input and have the thought accelerate. Next. Okay, so you're gonna have to go lighter because that back leg you should be kind of on your tippy toe. It's there just as a guide, as a balance. Your front leg is the one that hamstring and glute side is the one that should be doing most of the work. So select a weight where you can let that leg, that back leg, on your toes and kind of just like you ever seen like a horse stand? No, does that you know what I'm talking about? Where
What?
they kind of put one leg up and rest the hoof.
I have no.
Oh, okay. I'm just a hillbilly. All right. Got
It's
it.
all good. I'm trying to find these ridiculous words, so
Cows and horses do it. So that's what I want you to mimic for those of you that know what the hell I'm talking about. Um, it needs to be light. You shouldn't really be giving it much load bearing input. Everything else looks good. Um, that's the main difference. Next. It should be a little further back too. That's just because it's heavier. You're trying to be able to support the weight.
you're just talking about B stance, right? Like just 1 foot forward.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do single leg RDLs with dumbbells.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, same thing. Accelerate the bar. Next. He's got great deadlift form. It just he needs to get a little angry.
I think I know
A
what you're
little
talking
hate.
about now, by the way. It's in my head. I just don't know the name. But
Oh, the horse.
yeah.
All right. So we're gonna narrow your stance up slightly. With that being said, we're then gonna bring your butt up a little bit. You see how before the bar breaks, your knees suck back, and then the bar is about this far away from you. So bring your butt up. This is a very repetitive cue because it's a very common problem. Bring your butt up is going to bring your knees back. You're going to bring the bar in. Getting you narrower is going to make it so you're not spread out and so wide. We're taking advantage of your limb length. And you see how you're kind of not your shoulders aren't stacked on top of your hips. You want shoulders, hips, knees, nice vertical line at the top. So I want you to squeeze your butt and bring your hips through violently. So we're standing up nice, straight, and proud. Um, Not terrible. Yeah, you see how toe heavy you were at the end there. Um,
Nick, I don't know if you see this arm right here, but it's scaring me a little bit for the fact that he's not keeping it. He's kind of pulling at the top, so
yeah,
just
it's
safety
it's
wise.
partially because it's so light, especially with just look how the bar's just kind of floating.
Hmm.
Um, with a heavier, because he's straight when he comes up, like bit tension straight, and then
Yeah,
he's
you're right.
pulling it back because his hips aren't coming through. So that's a you're right. Um, but his hips coming through won't allow him to pull it back. He's literally like kind of over the bar a little bit, so he's trying
Yeah.
to pull it back because it wants to be out away from him. Next.
All right.
This looks like a good position.
You guys have way too much faith in your hardwood floors, all these videos that I
Yeah,
see.
that's a bold move, Cotton. Hips rised a little bit. Better that one. So bring your hips up just slightly. And again, your knees are going to suck back a little bit. That's okay. Just roll the bar into you. Um, I want to see everything the same, but your hips coming up just a little bit and keeping that bar close. You've got a lot. You've got 90% right here. Just that last little bit, and you'll really be cooking. So I love that posture. I love how tight and composed your back is. You're doing a great job on that. Next. Are these stiff leg deadlifts, RDLs? They look like stiff leg deadlifts. So if these are stiff leg deadlifts, you've got great range of motion. I don't want to see you go as far down because you start to break in the back slightly a little bit. So let's stop like an inch or two above the floor. And as you're coming up, think about your hips sliding through. So you're hinging and then you're hinging at the hips. So I want to see you squeeze your butt as hard as you can so your hips come through violently. And again, shoulders, hips, knees stacked. You're still not all the way through. You see how soft your knees and hips are? They don't get all the way through. I want to see those come through. Uh, so you might have to slide your grip in just a little bit so we can get that length out of your arms and lock it out. Bring the hips through violently. Overall, you've got great form. We're just fine tuning. Next, different angle. I recommend taking those big, spongy, thick heeled shoes off as well for these because they're kind of pitching you forward a little bit. That bar should still be right up against your shins, but it's the same cues before, nothing changes. Next. My dog is literally playing catch with himself. He's throwing it up in the air and catching it.
Did you see his note at the beginning? Do you want me to go back?
I didn't. What was it?
Try
Try
and
and protect
protect.
arm path per last form check. I see it drifting to head towards the end. Do I need to lower weight? I'm not sure what he means. Let me see. I see it drifting towards head. That's great bar path.
Yeah, maybe that's what he meant by drifted towards head is just pushing over his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great, man. You did an excellent job at sorting that bar path out. Nice job. Yeah, look at that. Keep bringing it towards your face. Good. Next. You did a great job. So rear delt rise slash rear delt fly slash rear delt raises, depending on what country you're from. These are good. I would like to see you. You say your elbow, you're kind of here towards the top. I'd like to see you get your elbow here because we're trying to hit that rear delt. So by rotating here, we're actually hitting more of the main head of the delt. So we want to keep that elbow. Imagine your elbow's fixed. You're hugging your barrel. So you're not here, you're here. Next. I also always tell people when they're learning that, I always make them go pronated. So they don't, you're more likely to fold here when you're doing those raises versus if you're pronated, it's a little bit easier mechanically to stay in position. These are good. I'd like to see you get a touch deeper, but you've got great form. Everything's very sound. You're not dancing all over the place. Um, Heels coming up, which means we need to take that front foot out maybe an inch or two. Because you're hitting the end of your ankle mobility when that heel starts to peel up of that front. Oh, good catch. So be the life of Bulgarian split squats. Bring that front foot out, yeah, an inch or two because you're kind of restricted with that heel coming up and ankle mobility. So bring the front foot out so there's less of an angle on the ankle and you can get down the depth a little bit better. But good job. Form looks great. Next. Got the strongman belt on. So you're a little bit more of a conventional deadlift right now. So which means we're getting too much leg drive. So we want to get a little bit more hingy than pushing. We want less pushing the ground away and more hinge. An RDL is the medium between a stiff leg deadlift and a regular deadlift. So let's make less legs, more hinge, really push the butt back. Don't think about dropping, think about really pushing the butt back, even so your toes get light. Otherwise, form looks pretty good. We want to keep a nice rigid back, and our range of motion is within our back staying nice and flat. When it starts around, we've gone too far. So that's all I got for you. So yeah, we're going just a little too deep, and then we round out towards the bottom. So we're gonna stop maybe for you, high mid shin, just below the knees even. That's okay. Next. I do want to make note on the last gentleman. Great acceleration coming up. I love that big glute squeeze coming through. Good job on that. Those reverse crunches look fine. Pull-ups. Let that stretch happen. Get a full range of motion. So that's the equivalent of, a 3/4 squat or whatnot. Use that stretch reflex. Come down, come all the way up, bang. Because the reason being is how we initiate the pull up from the bottom up is not by this, it's by pulling with our back. So we pull with our back, finish with our arms, and our lats continue to squeeze all the way up. And then we lower ourselves with our arms and lats, and then our lats stretch out, and then boom, we pull them back together. So work on that full rep range, man. Next. Looks like a goblet squat. The only easy day was yesterday. Nice. So this is a case of slightly too deep. You see how you get so deep that lower part of your back and your hips actually curl underneath of you? I want to see you keeping your butt and lower back everything nice and intact. So let's bring our depth up like 2 inches before we really get into that deep flexion to where our butt's curling into our calves. So it's just a little too deep. And you can't really do that with a barbell. It just doesn't translate uh because of where you're holding the weight. Because you can kind of curl around the dumbbell. So we want to keep some sense of rigidity in our lumbar and posterior chain. So remember to keep your butt kind of behind you. Don't let it curl underneath of you. Tight chest, squeeze with your back. I'm sorry, proud chest, squeeze with your back. Sit down towards your heels. Just don't go as deep. Next. He moves great, by the way. That's still impressive.
We are done. That took a lot less time than I thought. So, uh,
Yeah,
for everybody that wanted to be form checked on this week and sent one in, sorry, we did you on this one. So, we'll make sure to let everyone know. I'm gonna move these to the old folder. So every form check after right now will be reviewed on Friday by Nick. So, we'll make sure to put this in the app. And thank you.
cool. Thanks, Noah.
All right. See ya.
Later.